We Anoint Their Wounds will be the second feature-length documentary film produced by Bonum Communications. Set in Eastern Africa, the film tells the inspirational story of the noble and heroic work of Jesuit Refugee Service, whose mission to suffering refugees living in remote, massive refugee camps and in the bleak, lonely shadows of urban centers can be reduced to three simple yet powerful words: accompany, serve, and advocate. Eastern Africa is a place of immense beauty and vitality. But it's also a place of immense agony and misery. In Eastern Africa, countless people are left outside the circle of life. They are marginalized, disempowered, ignored, and forgotten. They are refugees, desperate people fleeing hunger and violence in such brutally hostile places as Somalia, where thugs and guns rule. They live in huge, isolated, overcrowded refugee camps. This is the Kakuma refugee camp in northwest Kenya. It's home to 95,000 refugees. Under the burning heat in Kakuma, life is direct and raw. To be a refugee means to live on the edge of society, socially and politically ostracized. Around the world, there are more than 50 million people who have been forcibly displaced, and 80% of them are women and children. I met many teenagers who have spent their entire lives in the Kakuma refugee camp and may never leave this hellish place.
So this family is from South Sudan, and they've been in this camp since 1992. So you can see the house looks a little bit more permanent. I mean, they've settled in, but still life is extremely hard.
These kids know more about death than life. Bringing life into these dreadful refugee camps around the world is an organization whose mission for more than 30 years has been to accompany and serve refugees and to advocate on their behalf. They are Jesuit Refugee Service. Their motto has been reduced to three simple yet powerful words: accompany, serve, advocate. Taken together, form a tangible sign of love and hope. This humble film is about their noble work. The film will also look at the harsh, hidden, and lonely lives of the refugees who fled the camps and are living in the shadows of Nairobi, the capital of Kenya. Many refugees live in massive slums. Some scavenge like vultures through the rotting waste of garbage dumps, desperately searching for food to eat or recyclable items they can sell. To be a refugee is to live a life of fatigue and long journeys. It's a draining, dreary life filled with fear and anxiety. It's a life of constant uncertainty and unbearable physical suffering. It's a life of being ignored and scorned. Refugees are greeted with deaf ears and hard hearts, forced to face a wall of ingratitude. To be a refugee is to endure a life of mental anguish, a life of being unwanted and unloved. There are basically two types of refugees: those living isolated lives in camps and those living marginalized lives in cities. Both realities are dreadful, just in different ways. We'll explore both realities in this film. People who are starving, homeless, friendless, so easily lose their sense of human dignity. It's not enough to give them what they need. We must restore their self-worth, their human dignity, in such a way that their hope and trust in mankind is rekindled. From the very beginning, Jesuit Refugee Service was a ministry of being with refugees rather than doing for refugees. At its core, JRS shares love, hope, and faith with people in intensely difficult situations. Over the course of the next few months, Pax at Bonum Communications needs your prayerful and financial support to help us complete this film.